Assalamu alaikum. This is Nishat Anjum of class 12C from DJI Inter College, Mughalpura, Faizabad, Ayodhya. The Chaura incident took place on 4th February 1922 at Chaura in Gorakhpur district of the United Province in British India, when a large group of protesters participating in the non-cooperation movement clashed with police who opened fire. In retaliation, the demonstrators attacked and set fire to a police station, killing all of its occupants. The incident led to the death of 3 civilians and 22 policemen. Mahatma Gandhi, who was strictly against violence, halted the non-cooperation movement on the national level on 12 February 1922 as a direct result of this incident. In the early 1920s, Indians led by Mahatma Gandhi were engaged in a nationwide non-cooperation movement, using non-violent methods of civil disobedience known as satyagraha. Protests were organized by the Indian National Congress to challenge oppressive government regulatory measures such as the Rowlatt Act with the ultimate goal of Swaraj or independence. 2 days before the incident, on 2nd February 1922, volunteers participating in the non-cooperation movement led by a retired army soldier named Bhagwan Ahir protested against the high food prices and liquor sale in the marketplace. The demonstrators were beaten back by the local police. Several of the leaders were arrested and put behind the bars at Chaura police station. In response to this, a protest against the police was called on 4th February to be held at the local marketplace. On 4th February, approximately 2,000 to 2,500 protesters assembled and began marching towards the market at Chaura. They had gathered to picket a liquor shop in the marketplace. The leader was arrested, beaten, and put in jail. Part of the crowd gathered in front of the local police station shouting slogans demanding the release of the leader. Armed police were dispatched to control the situation while the crowd marched towards the market and started shouting anti-government slogans. In an attempt to frighten and disperse the crowd, the police fired the warning shots into the air. This only agitated the crowd, who began to throw stones at the police. With the situation getting out of control, the Indian sub-inspector in charge ordered the police to open fire on the advancing crowd, killing 3 and wounding several others. Reports vary on the reason for the police retreat, with some suggesting that the constable ran out of ammunition, while others claimed that the crowd's unexpectedly assertive reaction to the gunfire was the cause. In the ensuing chaos, the heavily outnumbered police fell back to the shelter of the police chowki, while the angry mob advanced. Infuriated by the gunfire into their ranks, the crowd set the chowki ablaze, killing all the Indian policemen and official messengers trapped inside. Most were burned to death, though several appear to have been killed by the crowd at the entrance to the chowki, and their bodies thrown back into the fire. The death count is reported in literature as either 22 or 23 policemen killed, possibly due to the subsequent death of an additional burned victim. In response to the killing of the police, British authorities declared martial law in Chaura. Several raids were conducted and hundreds of people were arrested. Appalled at the outrage, Gandhiji went on a 5-day fast as penance for what he perceived as his culpability in the bloodshed. In reflection, Gandhiji felt that he had acted too hastily in encouraging people to revolt against the British Raj without sufficiently emphasizing the importance of non-violence, and without adequately training the people to exercise restraint in the face of attack. He decided that the Indian people were ill prepared and not ready to do what was needed to achieve independence. Gandhiji was also arrested and sentenced to 6 years imprisonment, but was later released in February 1924 on grounds of his ill health. The Indian National Congress halted the non-cooperation movement on the national level on 12 February 1922 as a direct result of this Chaura tragedy. Nehru and most of the workers of Congress who were imprisoned when Gandhi took decision felt that this was a very hasty and incorrect decision at a time when nation was finally uniting and rising up to the might of the British government in India. A few months after this withdrawal, the government arrested Gandhi and put him in jail. A total of 228 people were brought to trial on charges of rioting and arson in conjunction with the Chauri affair. Of the six died while in police custody, while 172 were sentenced to death by hanging following conviction in a trial which lasted 8 months. A storm of protest erupted over the verdicts, which were characterized as legalized murder by Indian Communist leader M.N. Roy, who called for a general strike of Indian workers. On 20th April 1923, the Allahabad High Court reviewed the death verdicts. 19 death sentences were confirmed and 110 were sentenced to prison for life, with the rest sentenced to long term imprisonment. Thank you so much for listening to me.